I run a business of about 170 people, and I've tried to grow the organisation based on any decision we make, what's right for the people who work in the business, not necessarily what's right externally facing. And Charles just asked to share with you all my approach. Some of it you will hopefully agree with, some of it you won't, but I'm just going to share with it all anyway. So what I should say, what you're seeing here visually is our internal employee brand, which we've really tried to push. Now, I have an opinion that anybody wants 4 things from their working experience, and we've put them into various pillars. And the starting point is, can our people come to work? Do they have the tools and the infrastructure to be able to do a great job? People want to come to work and they want to perform to the best of their ability, and that's phone system, IT systems. So what do we do when we had our new phone system? So everything we do is communicated via an email. So that's an email. So that's our communication. So when we had our new phone system, that email was sent out. When we have our new IT software was updated. We have a tech workshop once a month. So you can go and meet the IT guys. If you've got problems with your internet at home or your phone, they'll come to your home and fix so you can work from home easier. Business services quarterly update. We're a sales-led industry. We've got 140 odd people in sales, but the most important group supporting that 140 people is business services. It's the HR team, the finance team, the secretarial team. And once a quarter, I meet that group of people in the boardroom to talk about what we're doing in the organisation. Clients, hugely important to us, so we send out this email once a month and you click onto that and that takes you into a booklet, so a 4 or 5 page booklet about how our client relationships are developing, how they're maturing, the great work we've been doing. Our brand has evolved enormously. I think we've got about 33,000 LinkedIn followers now. We had about 2,500 about 4 years ago. It's really important. So the first pillar, I think people coming to work have the tools to do a great job. I then think it goes on to, are we managing people's careers? Are we professionally developing the people inside the organisation? Maybe I can just share with you some of the things that we do. So our Women in Leadership programme, we've won a number of awards for this over the last couple of years. We have we're actually in Glamour magazine last year as a top 20 employee if you're female. One of the biggest challenges we have in our industry, some of our top fee earners and top managers at the point of starting a family never come back into our industry. So we're losing this enormous talent pool. So we developed a program which is actually how you can do both, how you can still be brilliant at your job and being a great mother. And that program has been hugely popular. To such an extent that we're now rolling out across our industry body, across the UK, which we're really proud of. A training calendar, email goes out once a month saying what training is going on. Every 2 months we have appraisals. That appraisal document goes out, you click on there, it takes you through to the appraisal. Mentor scheme, once a quarter. I mean, it's an opinion, but I think it's really important you have somebody other than your boss to speak to about what's going well, not what's going well, you've done right, where you can improve. And I think we're about 80% of our business now do have a mentor. Every time someone's promoted, we celebrate it and tell the business why they've been promoted. The studio is our learning development, all documentation around learning. You can click onto that and it takes you into the studio. Strength scope, we assess everybody on their personality traits, not because that's clearly a strength or a weakness, it's just so that we understand what that person's learning will be like so we can tailor the learning towards an individual. An SPQ, which is more of a sales, not questionnaire, it assesses your sales abilities. Again, we can understand how we train individuals. There's more to life than work at the top. It's a phrase that I trademarked about 3 years ago. Why? Because I think there is more to life than work. There really is. I think, but what happens is we wake up in the morning, we get ready for work, we commute to work, we work, go home, we might talk to our husband, might talk to our wife, and we go to bed. So I think your ability to learn a new skill, I think, goes out the window. So this program for me was how can we help our people inside work learn a new skill, a new hobby. So currently I have art lessons, Spanish lessons, yoga classes and HIIT classes. We've had photography lessons, guitar lessons, etc. But if you want to, so was it £10? So if you want to learn Spanish, you sign up to that program, which is, I think it's a 10-week program. We don't pay for this, so it's £10 per session, and you can learn Spanish in working hours. So if you wanted to, I know the art lessons, it looks paint now, I think that was charcoal drawing, but if you want to learn to draw, you go to the art program for a 6-7 week period, stop work and just go and learn a new skill. And it's been, it's hugely popular. And actually, for someone to walk away to the desk for an hour and do this is, it's fabulous. I did the photography one actually in the summer because I bought this amazing camera that I always stuck on auto, which is just, but I did that and it was a really, really good 6-week program. So go back to these 4 pillars. The first one, give your guys the tools to do a great job. Then manage their careers and help them develop. And the third one, it's interesting, Charles's previous slide saying a lot of the reason people stay is because of reward and pay. And I've got an opinion on that. I think the days of a basic salary and a bonus are antiquated. I think they're dead. And I think, when I spoke to I remember the board meeting 3 or 4 years ago, and I wanted to develop a flexible benefits package, which we've called the Benefits Boutique, and we've won several awards over the last couple of years for it. For me, it was how can we develop an approach to reward that links to the lifestyle of where our people at. And I just want to show you some of the things that we do. So the more traditional benefits, buy and sell holidays. So 28 people this year bought holiday, car leasing, technology schemes. If you want an iPad, we buy the iPad and divide it over the course of the year and deduct it from your salary. So there's 27 people. Cycle to work. These are the plain vanilla traditional benefits, but you can see the uptake we have. The more obscure ones, and my point to my business partners was actually the biggest challenge I think our people who work for us face is the ability to join the property ladder. And these numbers seem to go up all the time, don't they? But I think the average cost of a property in London is about 600 grand now, which is utter nonsense. So we have a mortgage fund. And we've currently got 42 people in the mortgage fund. Last year we helped 5 people buy property. We were on a Mail on Sunday, early part of the year, big double page spread on what we've done, so we're hugely proud of it. So we are currently helping 42 people buy a house. So how does it work? And this is the one big financial commitment that we have to make. So if you can put up to 20% of your basic salary into this fund, and in 3 years' time we add in 33%. You can put your bonuses into the fund, and in 3 years' time we add in 50%. So these numbers do work. I've said them several times before, but if you are putting roughly £250 a month of your basic into this fund and about £5,000 a year your bonuses, with our top-ups you've got about £41,500 there, which is sufficient clearly for a deposit for property. We only release the money to exchange of contract to the lawyers. Some good examples is Stacey. She joined me when she was 16. She's a team secretary. Her only desire in life is to buy herself a 1-bedroom flat near her parents in Essex. And I think next year, we are nearly next year, aren't we? But it will be next year. She will have sufficient money for a deposit for her little 1-bedroom flat, which is fabulous. And bear in mind, we're 170 people. That's nearly 25% of our people have taken up on that, so which we're thrilled by. Student loan fund, very similar. I think it takes about 11 years now, I think, on average, to pay off student debt. We work the student loan company, work out what that sum is people owe. You contribute to the fund. In 3 years' time, we add in 33% and pay that lump sum to the student loan company. Exotic holiday. So 17 people this year have taken advantage of the exotic holiday fund. And the origin of this was, I can remember, I'm sure we've all been there, when the early part of your career, when you literally have no cash, you don't go on holiday, or if you do, it's a last minute, cheapest possible holiday. The idea of going long haul just never came into my line of thinking. So this is designed to help our people actually have an experience in a particular year. They can go on a long distance holiday. So if you wanted to go, trying to give an example, so Jess, our marketing manager, has just been to Thailand for 2 weeks. She came to us and it's going to cost, I don't know what it's cost, say £2,000. We buy the holiday. We divide over 12 months and deduct from the salary. And actually just allowing people, they don't have to save, they're removing that financial burden. And actually, if you divide the holiday over a 12-month period, most people, if they're managing financially, they should be able to afford it. So 17 people this year, great uptake. Home improvement loans, so we've bought fake grass for people this year, we've put carpets in houses, we've put a roof on somebody's house. Because the sums of money here are slightly larger, it's a slightly different repayment programme. So when Andy bought his fake grass, I think it was about £7,500, we bought the fake grass. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? But we did buy the fake grass. We divided the cost of that over a 3-year period, and with 36 instalments deducted from his salary. Again, making an impact. I think it's making an impact on our people's lives. New parent loan, so 4 people this year become a parent. When you become a parent for the first time, it's ain't cheap, expensive, yeah. So we've decorated nurseries, we've bought prams, etc., etc. And again, the same principle applies. We buy it all, divide the cost over a 12-month period, and deduct from salary. Knowledge fund, if you want to learn your hobby, whatever it is, we subsidise by 50%. And the last one, personal trainer. Look, I think there's a real correlation between your general level of fitness, how you feel, and actually how you perform in the office. And this is really important to me. So if you want a personal trainer, say 8 people this year, we subsidise that by 50%, which is really important. How do we communicate it? Let's get a sense. So this email goes out once a month. The mortgage fund, what's it saying? It's saying we're about to run our salaries. Who wants to make a contribution to the mortgage fund? So we're constantly, new parent loan, knowledge fund. We're constantly promoting what we do to make sure our people use it. Back to these 4 pillars again. Give people the tools to do a great job, manage their careers, pay them in a different way. And I think lastly, it's actually about creating an environment which actually people want to be part of, and they don't want to leave. I'm conscious of time, go through this quite quickly, but share you some of the things that we do. So eye tests come into the office. When a dry cleaner that comes on a Wednesday, you give your dry cleanings back on a Friday. Every Thursday we have Feel Good Thursday, massage. I think it's £4.50. Again, we don't pay for this, but that email goes out at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning. If you're not at your desk at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, you don't get your massage because people, I want one. And I think it's about 40 slots during the day. It's hugely popular. We have a local mother come in once a month and cook us lunch, which is great. We have a beauty therapist once a month come to the office. So if you want your nails done, you book your appointment. The cost of that is deducted off your salary. We have the barber. So if you want your haircut, it's £10 or £12 deducted from your salary. Comes every couple of weeks. Bike servicing. Lots of people cycle to work, and we have a bike servicing company come once a month look at the bike. Breakfast club. That's great actually. We just send a random dozen people from various teams for breakfast once a month, just to a local cafe. It's just a good way of integrating teams. Savings and pensions is financial and mental well-being. And we have active once a month workshops on how you save. And if you want an ISA, we deduct the money from your salary for you and put it into an ISA. So actively encouraging people to start saving. In fact, I opened a business in Germany 3 years ago. Nobody in Germany has debt. Everybody in the UK seems to have debt. It's a real cultural difference, actually. Managing your money. This is again not dissimilar to savings, but this is actually about debt management. Understanding that you're earning X, but your outgoings are Y, and how you can change that. And the idea of actually, when you hear people say, "God, it's payday coming," instinctively, people are thinking actually there's some pressure there every month on income. We're just trying to help people remove that. 1 year no beer. That is just, we are just trying. We haven't done this yet, by the way. Right. Yeah. Maybe I'll back in a year's time, see how that's failed. But this is promoted last week because we're going to try. who wants to sign up for 1 year? Actually, it's a joke, isn't it? It's not going to happen, is it? But we're going to try. If people want, again, better list health and fitness and wellbeing. Online doctor, hugely important. You can now go to see a doctor locally in the city. You don't have to get back on the tube to go to Clapham or Angel or wherever you live, and it's just making the doctor accessible. Flexible hours. We finish at 3:30 on a Friday, and it was 3 years ago now. I said to the board, look, people don't want to be here on a Friday afternoon. I don't want to be on a Friday afternoon. People just want to go home for the weekend. So for a 13-week period, I just sent this email. So summer is coming. We're going to finish at 3:30. And I measured every business metric pre and post that, and it made no impact. So we've kept it. So every Friday at 3:30, we send that email, and people just disappear. It's great. For our industry, it can be quite long hours, from 8 to 8. We work from 9 to 5:30. And that's, and come 5:30, I'm out. I've gone. I don't email anybody after 5:30. I don't expect any response. And it's great. Working from home. You want to work from home. Work from home. The modern workplace is such you don't have to be in the office. I mean, you really don't. And I could debate this all day. And the pressures of saying you've got to be in your team to create team culture, business performance I think it's an utter nonsense, actually. So we actively really push people working from home. The freedom to come and go. We send that email out once a month. Don't forget, look, if you've got kids and your son's playing football on Wednesday in Wandsworth Common, just disappear for a couple of hours. If your daughter's playing netball or whatever, just disappear and go and see your kids. If you want to take your kids to school, just come and go. Just that freedom, a real mature way of working. Communication, month end, last Friday of every month, I just present to the business what we're doing. Dashboard's not so relevant here. P&L, I always share our profit and loss performance. It's really important people see the financial position of the business. Guys, weekly note, this bottom email, when you click on that on a Monday morning, it just goes into a little booklet. The first paragraph is what I've done for the weekend, and it just goes on to talking, just sharing with the business what our good news story is, etc., etc. We send a quarterly newsletter to people's home, and it's an 8-page magazine just full of photographs of us having fun. And it's just quite nice to send on a Friday evening, so it gets people's home on a Saturday. It's super. I wrote a book. We won't go over that. It's our chill-out room, just a nice place for our guys to go and relax and have some fun. We have a run club every Wednesday lunchtime, 5K run around the city. Our netball team, we win games now. We never used to. We do now, which is great. It's a mixed netball team. This email here, it's lunchtime, go to the gym. We don't say go to the gym, we're saying it's lunchtime. Or if you want to go to the market or you want to go for a walk, just get out of the office for an hour. And those days of sneaking off to Pret, you're buying a sandwich and sneaking back and without your boss seeing you. I've been there, it's horrible. So we really push people going out for lunch. We all do an annual challenge, the Great Wall of China. I canoed to Zambezi. If you haven't done that, that was amazing. We've cycled Machu Picchu. We climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and we've just had a team from Madagascar come back. There was, I think we said 14 people actually came back today. So that was £2,500. We do it for charity, and it says on there 12 months. But if you want to do that, we typically divide it over 12 or 18 months. We're just trying to give our people an opportunity to do something which is kind of, it's a life memory, and it's always between sort of a dozen people go away. Summer parties, Christmas parties, the Iceland trip. We always have a trip once a year where family and friends can come, and we did the Iceland trip last year, and that's 550 quid, divided over 6 months if you want to go, just allowing people to, and there was like 30 odd people went to Iceland. It was awesome. We've got an annual ski trip coming up, and we've got 50 people going to Val d'Isère. It's brilliant. I think the après ski is more fun than the skiing, but it's still well received. I will go through this really quickly. What's happening is that someone said to my PA, look, I'd love to go go-karting. So Louise goes away, she researches go-karting, sends that text to marketing produces that email, Louise sends out, say, who wants to go, and then she organises it. So what we've done recently, go-karting, we've got the 5K run in Battersea coming up, there's a wine tasting evening, Elro, which is fabulous. We've got Harlequins coming up, bowling, going to the Wicked, that's coming up for Christmas. We have a book club. Because I'm going through this really quick site. Boom Cycle, which is spinning car. I haven't done that. It's awesome. Hoxton Square Halloween party, trapeze flying, which I did, which is a nightmare. Champagne tasting. You're getting a real sense of just the different type of things. That was great, actually. We did Summer of Golden Tickets, and we just left golden tickets on people's desks in the morning over the summer period. Those who typically wouldn't or don't get the recognition for being a top performer. So we sent people hot air ballooning over Windsor, parachute jumping, nights at the theatre, and what I loved about it was even the guys that always got recognition, they were loving the fact other people were getting this recognition. It created some really good energy. So wellbeing. What else? So some things that I do. Twice a year I have supper at mine. I have 8 people over to have supper with my wife and I. It's quite good fun. Someone does my job for the day every year, which is interesting because when that email goes out, who wants to do Guy's job for the day? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I think they're sure I do no work, but it's got. I give them a real day. So this year, I think it was the first meeting I had was a meeting with my finance director about the balance sheet and cash flow. So a really dull start to the day, but then it was Carl who did it, and I then got our office manager to call him so that our coffee machines just quit. Can I buy a new one for 500 quid? And the point being, yeah, of course you can. And literally 1 minute later, I got my IT manager to call Carl so that our server's about to blow. It's going to cost you 35 grand. The point was you don't say yes to that. You ask questions. I gave him a real life day. Christmas drinks at mine. I have anyone who's got children. I have them over at mine with their husband and wives and kids, with Santa Claus giving out presents, and that's, I think, the second week of December this year. For the 1st, 5th and 10th year anniversary, I always write a letter to people just saying thank you for your performance, which is well received. Champagne Friday, last Friday of the month, people have champagne, say thank you. If it's your birthday, take the day off. Hall of Fame, just our annual award winners. Charity, so we've raised over £100,000 now for Great Ormond Street in the last 3 years, which we're really proud of. And that here was awesome. We became Guinness World Record holders. So when, I can't remember the chap's name now, which is bad, the guy who wrote Peter Pan, is it Lowry, Paul Lowry? I can't remember. When he passed, Lowry, thank you. When he passed away, he gave all rights to Peter Pan to Great Ormond Street. And because they are a charity, we decided to try and break a Guinness World Record. So there was 284 of us dressed as Peter Pan on the steps of St Paul's Cathedral, and we broke a Guinness World Record. But that was a brilliant way of raising money for charity.